In this lesson, I will talk about the ribbon. The ribbon is the area under the title bar that contains all Excel tools. These tools are organized into groups that are called tabs. So, home, insert, page layout, and the rest are tabs. I said in a previous lesson that you can hear the word tab refer to the worksheets here at the bottom of the workbook. That's true, but the word tab is more connected with the ribbon than the workbook, so I will use it primarily for the ribbon tabs and call the worksheets, well, just worksheets. So the ribbon is organized into tabs, and each tab contains palettes. For example, here in the Home tab, which I'm already in, I have the clipboard palette, the font palette, and the rest. I will click on the Insert tab, and now I can see the Tables palette, the Illustrations palette, the Charts palette, and the others. Now, each palette contains its own tools. For example, in the Tables palette, there are tools like Pivot Table, Recommended Pivot Tables, and Table here. So the ribbon consists of tabs, each tab consists of palettes, and each palette contains tools. It's essential to remember this terminology so that you can understand what I refer to in future lessons when I say this tab or that palette or that tool. This will help you locate what I'm showing you. One thing you should be aware of concerning the ribbon is that it adjusts itself to the available space. That can make things look differently. Let me show you how this is done. I will restore the window so that it is no longer maximized. And notice that the Tables palette and the Illustrations palette are shown in a way that does not include the tools they have in. I can press the Tables button or the Illustrations button, and now I see the tools, but it is easy for someone to be confused and think that the tools they are looking for are not there. I will maximize the window again, and notice that the tools in the Tables and Illustrations palette are visible without me needing to press any button for them to appear. So be aware that the ribbon adjusts like this, and if you can't find the tools where they should be, then it is possible that they are just not visible because the available space is not enough. It's also important to know this. I will leave my mouse over the Table tool for a while and see that a helpful pop-up window for this tool appears. This pop-up window explains what the tool does. As you can see, there is also an option for more information about the tool. I will tell you more about how Excel provides help in a future lesson. For now, just remember that by leaving the mouse over a tool for a while, you get a short or sometimes even a long pop-up that can be very useful. Keep in mind that this applies to almost all Windows programs, not just Excel. Usually, if you leave the mouse over any button or tool, you will see such a pop-up that provides some information. So, if you are not sure if a button is the one you want, just leave the mouse over the button for a while to get help. Another way to move between tabs is with the mouse wheel. I will initially place my mouse on the ribbon area, and as you can see now, when I turn the wheel backwards towards me, I move to the tabs towards the end of the ribbon. When I turn the wheel forward, away from me, I move to the tabs towards the left end of the ribbon. Notice that before I started turning the wheel, I placed my mouse over the ribbon. I will move the mouse over the worksheet. Now when I turn the wheel, I scroll through the worksheet. So if I want to move between the tabs by using the mouse wheel, I first need to place the mouse in the ribbon area and then turn the wheel. Something else I want to show you is the ability to maximize and minimize the ribbon. Right now, the ribbon is maximized, meaning that when I click on the Insert tab, for example, all these tools are displayed and they stay there even if I click in the worksheet. This is usually how you will have it when there is enough space on your screen. However, you might be working on a tablet where space is limited and you don't want the ribbon to be maximized. I will right-click anywhere on the ribbon, and from the menu that appears, I will select Collapse the ribbon. Now the ribbon is minimized. The tabs are displayed, but not their palettes with the tools. If I click on the Home tab, for example, the palettes are displayed normally, but after I select the tool I want or after I click on the worksheet, the ribbon disappears again. it's not as convenient as having the tools ready in front of you. When you don't have much space, it can help. See that I now have a little more space at my disposal, and I can see a larger part of the worksheet. To have the tools of the tabs of the ribbon always displayed again, I will right-click on a tab or whatever tab I want, and then I will click on the collapse the ribbon again to deselect it. So now the ribbon is maximized. You can minimize and maximize the ribbon in two more ways. For the first method, I will double-click on the selected tab, and as you can see, the ribbon minimizes. I will then again double-click on any tab, and as you can see, it returns to the maximized display. So with double-click, I can maximize and minimize the ribbon. The second method involves this down arrow that it is located here on the far right side of your ribbon, and it is visible from every tab. Through this arrow, you can perform all the actions I showed you before, plus one more. I will click to open it and then select Show Tabs Only. As you can see, I minimized the ribbon, or another way to put it is that I collapsed the ribbon. I will click on any tab to show the ribbon again, for example the Home tab, and I will click on the arrow once again. You can see that the option Show Tabs Only is selected. If I want to maximize the ribbon again, I will click on the option Always Show Ribbon, and now the ribbon is maximized. Through this arrow, you can also have your worksheet on full display. I will click on the arrow again, and now I will select full screen mode. You can see that I now have the full screen space available for my workbook. That means I have as much space as possible to work on the workbook. If I need a tool from the ribbon, I will click on these three dots on the top right corner in my screen, and as you can see, the ribbon shows up again. Now I can use any tool I need. In this mode, if I want to make the ribbon disappear, I can press Escape on the keyboard, or I can click somewhere in the worksheet. For now, I will press Escape on the keyboard to hide it. This is very convenient when you want to display data or results on a tablet or on any screen with limited space, but can also help when you are presenting your workbook to an audience and you want them to focus just on the data. In that case, you would hide the ribbon to make the display easier, and if needed, you can show the ribbon in minimized or maximized form from these three dots. That's what I'm going to do now. I will click again on the three dots. I will then click on the arrow on the far right side of the ribbon and select Always Show Ribbon. So the ribbon is again maximized. It's very helpful. It's very useful to know how to customize the ribbon's display, because depending on your screen, you might need a different display method. It's also important to mention that more tabs can appear on the ribbon depending on the object you select. Even though there are several tabs with many tools that are fixed on the ribbon, Excel has even more tools that cannot fit, and you don't need to see them all at the same time. For example, in the worksheet that I have opened, you can see that there is a chart. I will talk about charts in detail in future lessons. For now, I want you to see that when I click on the chart, two additional tabs appear in the ribbon. They are the Chart Design tab and Format tab. These tabs have tools specifically for charts. If there was an image and I clicked on it, tabs with tools for images would appear. So depending on the selected object, you can see different tabs on the ribbon appearing that contain tools for that specific object. Now I will click somewhere on the worksheet outside of the chart, and as you can see, the tabs with chart tools have disappeared because I no longer need them since I am not within the chart. To sum up, keep in mind that by selecting objects in a worksheet, more tabs may appear on the ribbon that offer tools related to the object you selected. Let me show you now something about dialog boxes and panels. Keep these terms in mind: dialog box and panel. I will go to the Page Layout tab and notice that in the Page Setup palette, at the bottom right, there is this button which I will press, and as you can see, a window with many more tools appears. Windows like this are called dialog boxes. To close the dialog box, I will press the close button, which is at this X at the top right corner of the window. Now see that in the themes palette, there is no button like the one in the page setup palette. This means that all the tools in the themes palette are already shown, so there is no need for a dialog box. Other palettes, instead of a dialog box, they appear a panel on the right side of the worksheet. To demonstrate, I will first click on the chart and then I will click on the Format tab that appeared. As you can see in the size palette, there is this button indicating that more tools are available in this palette. I will click it, and instead of a dialog box, a panel appears on the right side of my screen. To close the panel, I will simply click the X button here. Dialog boxes and panels serve the same purpose. Generally, Excel tries to fit as many tools as possible into a palette, focusing on those that are used more frequently. However, some palettes contain many more tools that you can find either in a panel or in a dialog box using the button I showed you. The last thing I want to show you is how to use the ribbon with the keyboard. I will click anywhere here inside my worksheet and I will press the left Alt key on my keyboard once. Be aware that the right Alt key does not have the same effect. You need the left Alt key. Now you can see that some letters and numbers have appeared on the ribbon. So if I now want to go to the View tab, for example, I will press the letter W. And as you can see, I entered the View tab. Now I can use any tool from this tab again with the keyboard. For example, see in the status bar on the bottom right corner in my screen that the zoom is now set at 120%. Let's say that I want to make it to 100%. In the View tab, in the Zoom palette, there is a tool to make it 100%, which has the letter J on it. This means that by pressing J is the same as if I clicked on the keyboard, on the button. So I will press J on the keyboard, and as you can see, the zoom changed. I will talk about zoom in detail in future lessons, so don't worry about what zoom is. What I want you to focus on is that with the left Alt key, you can use all Excel tools. This may seem more difficult than using the mouse, and indeed it is, because you are not yet used to it, but it's good to keep it in mind. The keyboard is the most challenging, but by far the fastest way to work in Excel. If you want to be efficient in your work, you must learn to use it at some point. Especially for repetitive tasks, learning the keyboard shortcut and using it can be much more convenient than going to the ribbon with the mouse again and again. I won't say anything else in this lesson, it's already a lot. Remember that I talked about the ribbon, which is made of tabs. The tabs are made of palettes, and palettes contain tools. Some palettes contain more tools than the ones displayed, so they have this arrow. When you press this arrow, a dialog box like this one may appear, or a panel, as I showed you earlier. I also showed you the way to customize the appearance of the ribbon, and more specifically how to maximize it, how to minimize it, or even hide it to display the worksheet in full screen. Finally, I showed you how to use the ribbon with the left Alt key on the keyboard. If you feel overwhelmed by all this, it's understandable. I will use all this so many times throughout this series of lessons, so you will learn them along the way. Don't worry that you need to learn all these terms by heart right now. You will learn them naturally as the lessons go by, because I will use them so many times. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching.